Minnesota United, they host the Seattle Sounders. 16 wins for Minnesota on the season, 15 for Seattle. This one that's Allianz Field at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. You get a little matinee. It's even earlier down there. What's that, noon? 1 o'clock for you guys? Looking at the odds, Minnesota plus 200 to win. Double your money if you like them to win at home. Draw plus 250 away. Plus 120, over under 2.5 goals, minus 150 for the over, plus 118 for the under. And if you're watching away at home, you have your team totals shown. Seattle Sounders, minus 104 to score over 1.5, while Minnesota United, plus 142 to go over that 1.5 number. Again, just looking at what the sports book's giving us, it's not double your money plus 200. It's like 2 times your bet $10, get 30 back, win 20. Loving that. Seattle Sounders plus 120, even money all around. There's a lot of really good plays here, but it looks like the sportsbook's just so heavy on the Seattle Sounders. Jeremy, is that the side we should be looking?
I thought that if Seattle was going to win game one, they were going to win game two. So them winning in whatever fashion they did, which got a little interesting in the second half due to Minnesota's like 2 goals in 3 minutes right before halftime. I think the Sounders team has had all year a propensity to shoot themselves in the foot. Now, you most commonly see that through the red cards. They've picked up the most red cards in the league this year. Most of those are just second yellows for nonsense plays. So I feel like Seattle, they got their little like williness out of their system by making what should have been a 3-0 game at halftime in game 2 into 3-2 and suddenly a sweat. But they did a really good job of killing that game off. Minnesota concerns me because I don't think Kelvin Yeboah is the same Kelvin Yeboah that he was last year. And if you remember last year, he comes in, he immediately just starts scoring goal after goal after goal after goal. A few of those from the penalty spot, but a goal's a goal nonetheless. I'm more concerned with Minnesota's potential ceiling. And in the playoffs, it's all about how high your ceiling can get, especially against a Seattle team whose floor is the highest in the entire league. They are going to play the same way they do away from home as they do at home. And in game one, probably should have won that in regulation. They had a couple of good chances to fall to Danny Musovski, but he scuffed them. So I believe that if you are like myself and want to see the Seattle Sounders go home and see their season end, you're rooting for this game to get to penalty kicks. Because I don't think Minnesota can do this in regulation. I really, really don't. They do not have the goal scorer up top to make those big chances on the counter like count. And although I really, really like Nectarios Triantis, are you really relying on one of your midfielders to be a bigger goal threat than the DP striker that you have on the books? That's concerning to me.
Me and Scott also cannot see a way that Minnesota wins in regulation. I have Seattle Sounders plus 120 for a lot of the reasons you mentioned. Look, it's Seattle Sounders time. It's the playoffs. Like, this is a team that is always going to turn it on and be competitive this time of year. We've seen it each and every year start slow, get hot at the right time, catch fire into the playoffs. I can't trust Minnesota United. I think that they, made some transfers that didn't make their team any better. And that's where we are. I think that's where we are. And I think Seattle Sounders are going to take this pretty handily. I don't know who's going to be. I have a really bad bearing on the Seattle Sounders team. But someone's going to be putting balls in the back of the net, and it will not be Minnesota.
I think that in some ways the Seattle Sounders also have a bad bearing on who that's going to be. But they have, 4 or 5 players who could step up on any given day and be that guy. It could be Morris, it could be Rusnak, it could be Jesus Ferreira, it could be Musovski, it could be Paul Rothrock, like any one of those guys, very capable. I think that this game follows a little bit of the script of the last game in that the early goal opens the game up. Once Seattle goes up, Minnesota has to come out and play. That's where more goals come from. I don't see Seattle being like, yeah, sure, let's take this deep and go to penalties. That's bad for them. Philosophically, I want Minnesota to go out because they play a back five. You are at home. Go for the win. You have attacking talent. Go ahead, put it on the field. But no, Eric Ramsey's going to play a back five. He's going to park the bus in his own house. I hate that. And for that
you want to see it punished.
Yes, be punished. Go home because you refuse to kind of come out and play. I think Seattle is savvy enough to take advantage of that. They dominated the first game. They just couldn't score goals. They took the second game 4-2. Yeah, it was maybe nervier than it needed to be, but they were the instigators in that game. They'll be the instigators in this game, and that's enough.
Two official plays: Seattle Sounders plus 120 and the Seattle double chance and over 2.5 goals plus 105.